What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be doing the best squad of the 2010s. In my opinion, these are the 13 best players. Well, not exactly 13 best players, but like the 2 best at each position, as well as probably the next 3 best players in the NBA during this decade. So before we get into this, and before you guys kill me in the comments, I just want to make this clear. The decade started in 2010 and not 2016. So there's not, like, obviously starting at the power forward position, we're not going to have Anthony Davis because he really became one of the best players in the world maybe 2015, which is more than halfway through the decade. So even though obviously he's the best power forward in basketball right now, I'm going to have one guy over him who obviously is nowhere near as good, but it's an all-decade team. So the best players in the world right now aren't necessarily going to be starting in this team because, again, the decade started in 2010 and not 2016 or 2017. So players that definitely, you guys will be thinking I'm crazy for considering in the squad, players that just missed out like Carmelo Anthony could have easily been in this team. And to be honest, a lot of people are probably thinking I should have picked Carmelo Anthony, but there's a guy I have in just ahead of him, like very, very close. But Melo was so close to making this team, no matter how bad he has been in recent years, and same with Blake Griffin. For this entire decade, they've been elite players. But anyway, now let's get on to the squad. And the point guard is the guy who's won the most MVPs in this decade. Well, tied most MVPs with LeBron James, and it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the only ever unanimous MVP. He changed the way basketball is played, and anyone who argues that he isn't a top 3 or 4 most influential player of all time, and that isn't good enough to be in this team, just doesn't know basketball. But Steph Curry, the most important player for the greatest team of all time, definitely deserves a spot in this team. At the 2, we are going to be playing, this was actually a really tight one, and it was between the best 2 guard for the first 3 or 4 years of the decade versus the best 2 guard after that. But I'm going to go with James Harden, because James Harden did win an MVP in this decade. James Harden just won MVP, was runner-up twice, so I got to give his performance in the second half of the decade better than the other guy's performance in the first half. But this, like, James Harden's unbelievable, incredible player. At the 3, probably the best player in the world every year in this decade, LeBron James. No question about that. And at the 4, the power forward is a really weird one because obviously there is Dirk, who was probably the best power forward at the start of the decade. There is Blake Griffin, who's been a really good power forward throughout the decade. There is also Draymond, who I think has been really good, but Draymond only really started playing really well around 2015. There's Chris Bosh, who could have easily been in this team, even though he pretty much had to retire in 2015 or 2016, sorry. Anthony Davis, obviously, but he only started coming into it late in the decade. But in my opinion, the most consistent, Tim Duncan as well for the start of the decade. But in my opinion, the most consistent player and the guy who's been continuously an all-star throughout the decade, we've got to give it to LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge is a 6-time NBA All-Star. The only years in this decade he wasn't an All-Star were 2011, 2018, 2011 and 2017. Every other year in this decade, he has been an all-star. And the center position is something very similar. So you go to centers, obviously the best centers in the game right now are the likes of Kat, Embiid, Gobert, DeMarcus Cousins. But then at the start of the decade, the best center by far was Dwight Howard. So you got to at least consider Dwight Howard for the squad. But the most consistent center throughout the decade who's been consistently an all-star, he's made 1 All-NBA first team, 1 second team, and 1 Defensive Player of the Year this decade. We got to go with Marc Gasol. While Marc Gasol, you could argue at no one stage was the best center in the NBA. Like, you could say at the start it was Dwight Howard, then after Dwight Howard was probably Joakim Noah for a year or 2, and then probably for a couple of years you could argue Gasol, Boogie, Gobert, Kat, and now it's probably Gobert, Kat, or Boogie or Embiid. And now it's probably Embiid. But in my opinion, Marc Gasol is the most consistent center throughout the decade and has been consistently in the top 5 or 6 centers since 2010, so we've got to keep him in the squad. So we've got to put him as a starter. Off the bench, the 1 was a really tight one, and I'm going to go with Chris Paul. Honestly, it could be Chris Paul or Westbrook. Westbrook has an MVP, but in my opinion, Chris Paul's better now, and Chris Paul was obviously better in 2010, so I'm going to have Chris Paul in slightly ahead of him. At the 2 was the best 2 guard for the first 3 or 4 years of this decade. I had him starting when I did this video last year, but Harden's MVP season definitely has him deservingly in over him, and it's Dwyane Wade. So Dwyane Wade was one of the best players in the NBA in 2010, and honestly, still doing okay. He's obviously lost a step, but he's still a solid enough NBA player off the bench. At the 3, the second best player in the world, in my opinion, Kevin Durant. The second best player of this decade. It's just that it just happens that the best player is in the same position as him. At the 4 was another really close call, a lot of guys, but I'm going to go with Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis is by far the best power forward in basketball right now, and like people are arguing that at his peak he's the second best power forward ever. Wouldn't go that far, but like when he could honestly go down as the 3rd or 4th best, I'd say. I don't think he'll go down better than Duncan. Probably not better than KG or Dirk, but like he could probably end up ahead of Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. Like he's on that type of track in he's on that type of trajectory in his career. But and at the 5 is again a really close one. And last year I went with Dwight Howard because he was the best center in the NBA for 3 or 4 years, start of the decade. But I'm going to go with DeMarcus Cousins this year. Like even though I'm not the biggest Boogie fan, he actually impressed me a lot with the start of this year with the Pelicans, and like purely numbers wise, he's arguably the best center this decade, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how he gets on with the Warriors. Last 3 off the bench, first of all is Russell Westbrook. He won an MVP this decade. We've got to put him in the squad. I don't really like him, but without doubt, like you can't really put anyone else over him. Look at point guards, like no way am I putting John Wall over him. No way am I putting, say, a Kyrie Irving over him. But Westbrook definitely one of the best players in this decade. Then we are going to run with, I'm going to go with a big, and this is a tough one for me, but I'm going to put in Dirk. I'm going to put in Dirk over Blake Griffin, Tim Duncan, and Dwight Howard. Because in my opinion, Dirk was the best big man in the NBA, power forward, a center in like 2011, 2012, was an all-star consistently till 2015, and nearly led the Dallas Mavericks to beating the San Antonio Spurs. Like I think in 2014, the year where the Spurs are basically untouchable, which is crazy. But yeah, Dirk definitely deserves a spot in this squad. And then last up is, again, I was going to put in Carmelo Anthony, but I'm going to stick with the pick I had from last year. Finals MVP, one of the best two-way players in basketball, second in the MVP once, third once, and without doubt, Kawhi Leonard deserves to be in this squad, slightly ahead of Melo because he did win an NBA championship, got to a finals, and as a finals MVP. So anyway, yeah, that is the team. Now let's get on to the game. Alright, so we're playing basically almost as good a team as you can put together. Wide open, in the corner, green light, let's go. Limitless, green light, LeBron, let's go. We're all good. We are all good. Good defense to LeBron. Stop for 3. And LeBron knocks it down again. Back to 1. Boom steal. Let's go, Chris Paul. To the basket. Floater, floater, floater. You're going to get swatted otherwise. And he misses the floater, but it's all good. Gasol. Wade. Right back into Gasol. Easy dunk. 3. Gasol. Knocks it down. We go. Back to a 6-point game. Beat him. Pull from mid. Good shot, Wade. And Wade can't hit it. Get somebody for 3. Durant. Kevin Durant knocks it down. Let's go. Wide open 3 in the corner. Westbrook actually heavily contested 3 or 2. I don't think I said anything right there. But that leads now back up to 9. Dirk. Apparently it's heavily contested, but he still hits the one like a fadeaway. It's all good. Back to an 8-point lead. Like again, we just haven't been able to pull away. We've kept them between, say, 4 and 8 for most of this game. We just haven't been able to push that into double digits. Came out there in time. LeBron chase down. No, I won. Kick to the corner. Kick to the corner for 3, LeBron. And he misses, but Gasol's right there with the putback. Marcus Gasol now with 10 points. Let's go, Aldridge. Good job on the roll. Let's go to the bench. Marcus Aldridge now with 7. Wide open. Kevin Durant for 3. And Durant knocks it down. Let's go. Back to a 7-point game. A stop and a score here would be ideal. Like again, he's never come back. Like he's never got the lead. But we just can't pull away. A stop and a score here would be really nice because we have a chance to make double digits then. Okay, let's go to Westbrook. They left him. They left him. No, they didn't. They were like right there. To Wade in the corner for 3. 99 shot 3. And Wade knocks it down. 10-point game. Okay, score, and surely that's it. Fade away. Good shot, Kevin Durant. Let's go. 12-point game, 2 minutes to go. That has to be it. Alright, I've actually came back from down more than this with less time. And I've also lost bigger leads than this. So I kind of have to concentrate now. Leave Steph open. To leave Gasol wide open. There we go. Floater. No. No, he just did that. No, I was just dumb by me. Why didn't I just take the layup? I expect him to help in a little bit. And Durant rebounds Aldridge again. No, no, no. No way. All right, it's fine. We're in control. As long as we score in every possession, we're good. We've won. As long as we score in every possession, we've won. They won't have a chance to tie. It's going to be a 5-point game, then a 4-point game if they hit a 3. Okay. We got him. Into the corner. No, Gasol! What were you doing? Why did you move? You were wide open. You were wide open. You have got to be kidding me. Marc Gasol, what was that? You were wide open in the corner. What were you doing? All right, we're all good. This is 99 overall LeBron. Attack this. And let's go now. There we go. We gave him a little bit too much time, though. And they probably will get a game winner here. All right, they're going to go for 3. They're not going to be able to get it back to LeBron in time. So whoever they're going to, let's just double on him. We're there. 2 hands on it. Game. Thank God. Thank God we won that game in the end. So Kevin Durant had 15. Marcus Gasol had 12. LeBron James had 11. Harden with 7. Aldridge with 7. Dirk with 7. Westbrook with 6. Wade with 3. Boogie with 2. Steph, CP3, AD, and Kawhi Leonard did not score. So anyway, that's the video. In my opinion, these are the best players of the last decade. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.